Snakes and fakes may try to take my place. Little do they know I'm running first in this race. As I laugh in their face, leaving the dust without a trace, I got facts. With nothing to prove, absent a lack. I flow on this track with straight precision. I attract what I want, it's my decision. I did forget, I'm the devil that ain't want but couldn't crack. So get back, cause I attract, but don't front. Old school, leaning in the back of a white Cadillac like the Mac. It's like a drop, not fear, until no rain. Or better still, joy you never knew, absent of pain. Excuse me, let me refrain. Damn, isn't that insane? Anyway, let me shift gears, stay in your lane. As I'm driving through the truth, that's what I do. I know who I am, but who are you? Hey family, it's Mr. Frederick right back at you. Good to see everyone. I hope everyone had a great holiday weekend. I think I got a good message for everybody today. Something that you could chew on for a little bit and, let it just marinate. Let it just sit in, soak. Let it do what it do. Let it infuse into your being. And so you will start seeing. Okay? All right, guys. Today's message is going to be simply, if you don't like where you're at, don't complain. Change. Don't complain, change. Simple as that, family. And I'm going to break it down for you. Okay? So, pretty much, this off here. Family, we all have been in times in our lives, or if you haven't, you will be. At some time, you will be. Glasses. You will be at a time in your life where you're not going to be happy with your circumstances, where you're at. It's just inevitable. It's life, It's not always going to be a bed of roses. So we know this. The world isn't. We don't live in a perfect world. Okay, so when we come into those times in our lives, it's very critical that we first acknowledge that we are not in the best pace. We're not in a good spot at that point. And I think that's the first step. Okay, I know that's the first step. You have to see things for what they are. Oftentimes our view is clouded, it's blurry, it's blurred by people we're around, by expectations, outside expectations that aren't even ours. They actually belong to others. They belong to either, depending on your age and the influence, your parents, your family, your close friends or mentors or whoever has influence over you in that way. But they're not truly yours. And so what happens is, a lot of times, definitely about 40 years old, I could say for sure most people. About 40 years old, that part of you starts to die off. You should have done a lot of things that were based on what people thought and, maybe they groomed you to do, or the expectations. A lot of your actions was built off of what you were taught, okay? Like a system. And you get about 40, and that changes. You get about 40 and you will start to see things. I feel like a man or woman, but I'm a man, so I feel like a man comes into his own. Women do mature a little differently. Let me just say that on the side note. Women have to mature naturally, especially if they have children. They have to mature faster and in a different way, okay? But they still mature, hopefully. But they have to mature in a different way than a man. But men, I say, typically become in his own, I would say early to mid 40s, from around 40, anywhere from 40-ish till about 44, okay, 43, 44. I think that's when a man starts to really come into his own, and that's who he is for sure. In your 30s, you're still in that stage of outside expectations. Oh, I'm supposed to have this money. I'm supposed to have this house. I'm supposed to have this. You're still worried about other people like that. Most men. Okay. But again, that early 40s, mid 40s range, you get to a point where you don't give a damn about what they think. All of that stuff don't work, because now you have matured to an age of your life where it matters what you think. And you literally, that's the first That's the most important individual that you're thinking about is you. When you're younger, you're thinking about the parents, the other people, and all that kind of stuff. You get in their 40s, this is who I am, and I'm gonna put my snake in the ground, and I'm gonna die on it. This is me. You should be that way by that time in your life, okay? And it just gets progressively stronger the older you get from there on. From about 43, 44 on, you just get more and more of who you are. That being said, even at that time when you're becoming more of who you are, you still now are discovering different things with honesty, because it's levels of honesty. Because you're expect everything's changed. You're constantly evolving. Maybe at one point the house and the car was great for you. Okay, maybe the wife, the kids, the whatever, the job, corporate job or whatever, blue collar job, whatever you like to do. Maybe that is okay for that period. Again, as you start to age and you start looking further into the future and you start to see, okay, I'm not here forever. I mean, let's just face it, we aren't here forever. So there is a destination, there is a final destination we all have. It's just life, okay? And you start to get more and more into thinking outside the box. And you start to get to more, okay, well, I did that. I don't really like that. I don't really like that. I think I might try this. And in that process of becoming your own individual, you now are unlocking and opening up knowledge of yourself, knowledge of self, of God, of existence, of your kids might even be grown by then. A lot of you, if you had kids early in life, some of you had children, later in life. So obviously I think that's a hindrance in the sense of the self-discovery, okay, as a man, because if you're still tending to little kids and you're older, it's a lot of attention. You don't have the time to really pay attention to yourself, what you have to do. You just don't. Kids take up a whole lot of time. A wife takes up a lot of time, but the wife should have her own life, or girlfriend or whatever should have their own life to where they're doing their thing, so that leaves you time to do your thing. Anyway, that being said, I'm talking to people who's probably, the kids are grown or old enough to take care of themselves, high school or whatever at that time, and they could really look into themselves. And as you do this, it's either going to be I'm happy with it or I'm not. It's not going to be all of this, because you just don't have the time, family. At this point, you don't have the time to BS yourself any longer. And this is why I believe people come to this state of mind at this age range, that middle age range, because you're more closer to the end than you are to the beginning at that point, most of us. So that being said, you when you're honest, you might find that you're not fulfilled, you're not happy. And this is why you see a lot of divorces happen at this state of life. You see a lot of people get divorced. You see a lot of people, some people could say midlife crisis. You might see a lot of people change careers. Okay, they decide they don't want to do that with their life. You'll see a lot of people even have a spiritual awakening. Okay, maybe your parents or a parent has passed on. Significant things have happened by this time of your life, okay? And at that point, when you come to these answers and you see that you're not happy, you got to get to the stage where you say, I have to change, because what I've done brought me to where I'm at. And that's what I was talking about. If you guys check out my video I did a couple of weeks ago, present purpose, passion, path, power. It's pretty simple. I lay it out for you all in that video. Check it out. It's a couple of weeks old. But in that video, I talk about wherever you're in your present, the answers for you lie in your present, not in where you're trying to go. Because if you don't evaluate how you got there, wherever you go from there could be simply wrong, because you're missing how I got here. So you got to acknowledge, how did I get here? That's where your answers lie, not where you just want to magically go. So when I say that, is God is constantly presenting us with the solutions, the answers, everything. And it's on us to believe in the Lord. Listen, all things are possible through Christ. Okay, all things are possible through God. You're strengthened in this belief system. This is why I believe in it. You can believe what you want. I'm not telling anyone to believe anything. I'm not one of those people that's just not. I'm not an evangelist. That's not me. I represent by who I am and what things have done for my life. Okay, that's how I lead. I don't lead by do this what you should do, my way, the highway, and I don't do that. And another reason I don't do that personally is because I always leave room for me to grow, for me to see different scenarios. And whenever you get to the mindset where you're like a dictator and you're telling people my way, the highway, the only rule I have is you're either with me or against me. Now I have that rule, but that's more for my personal life. But even in general, if someone's opposed to me or they're aligned with me, these factors have merit. Okay, so that's the only thing I go by. I'm stringent on that. I don't believe on people being on the fence with you or what do you call them, lukewarm. I don't believe in no lukewarm. It's like in the Bible, you spit them out, they lukewarm. Spit them out your mouth, they're lukewarm. So, but I do keep an open mind. I pray for an open mind. So that's why I don't try to push it down anyone's throat to be this way and believe in this. But I can tell you what my experiences have been. Okay, and so I know what brought me about the pit. So that's why I share it with you guys as a life coach. I wouldn't be doing myself justice as a life coach to help people if I'm simply not sharing what helped me. Because I've been there. That's what qualifies me as a life coach. Not getting a certificate or going to school or none of that stuff. That don't qualify you to be nobody's life coach. What qualifies you is changing your life, going through those things, being able to quit certain strongholds that you've had for decades and successfully, being able to clean yourself up, being able to get rid of bad habits, being able to get rid of bad people, and actually implementing and seeing firsthand what it does for you. So what I'm saying is that when you get to the point where you are paying attention to your present, you're acknowledging where you're at, and now you're developing a path, a passion, and purpose where you go. You get this age range. You get this. It could vary a little bit, but now when you're honest with yourself, you got to start doing the work. See, faith without works, it ain't going to happen. So you can say all you want. I don't like this. I want something different. Mr. Frederick, I want something different. I want my life to change. I'm not happy with this. Okay, and what? So you ain't happy, so what? What are you doing to change it? Okay, now you have to do the hard work. The hard work is going to be holding people accountable that you're around. You got to hold yourself accountable, so you got to hold everybody else accountable. It can't be, oh, this is my wife, this is my kids, this is my mother, my brother. None of that matters. Who are they on their own merit? They're either positive in your life or they're negative. And that's what people don't want to face. Your friends you've known forever. They're either enlightening you and allowing you room to expand and grow as a person, okay, or they're not. They're keeping you stagnant. They're holding you back. Maybe some of them don't even want you to win. They want you to fail. They're actually around you, and those are the really dangerous ones. They're around you. They're your saboteur. They're sabotaging you constantly. And a lot of us have been in situations where, like I said, if you don't have the best structure, foundation coming up, and you have these people in your life, okay, that are poisonous to you. They've done things to you. They have all this guilt, and they're trying to guilt trip you all your life. They're trying to flip everything on you. This is really, you have to, in order to understand yourself and how you got where you at, you got to examine it correctly. So once you examine it, remove the emotion, remove the sentiments of, oh, this person is it. No, bad people prey on those tactics. Okay, they prey on your good heart. That's what bad people do. They can't prey on someone who doesn't have these superficial attachments to them. They can't prey on them. So who do they prey on? They prey on people that allow them access. Someone who has no attachment to them, that has no reason to let them in, to even give them an opportunity, they can't prey on them. They'll never even get in. They prey where they're at. Convenience, okay? And they feel like you won't do anything to them. So honestly, most people are bad because they're cowards, okay? Whenever you treat someone bad continuously, go treat someone out there that don't care nothing about you. And see, I guarantee you they won't do it. They would run because they know that person will hurt them badly. See, this is what I'm trying to say. When you are led by the Lord to do the right thing, to live the righteous way, treat people a certain kind of way, you are a better person. You're a better person because you're doing things a better way. Simple as that. When you're going the opposite direction, not having a foundation, not being accountable, not having no belief, no faith in nothing, just what your desires are, no. Because then you sink to these low level levels of existence and just pleasuring yourself and maybe even some sadistic actions in your mind that you just go into a slippery slope of darkness. Okay, see, the darker light, it's no in between. So what I'm saying is you got to get rid of these people, family. If they aren't positive, productive to your life, they gotta go. Simple as that. Or they got to get on board and make them do the work. You ain't gonna be there while they're doing the work. They got to do the work on their own, and that's not up for you to make happen or be held responsible for when and how and where they do it. That's on them. You got to look out for you, because guess what? Like I always tell you guys on this channel, when you up out of here, that's it, baby. It's no reruns or, of course we have reincarnation. People believe in different ways, okay, whether we want to argue in that, spiritual, physical, however you believe in it. But as we know right now, if we look on this plane, as it is in this timeline, this is it. So you have to hold people accountable. Another thing you want to look at, family, is you have to believe. You have to believe in something. You cannot, if you don't believe, that's the foundation of everything. If you don't believe it could change, it ain't going to happen. And you also got to look at, he who seeks shall find. If you want to find an answer, you'll find it. If you seek openness, if you seek growth, you will see that things that allow you this openness and this growth will start coming to you. Wow. Lo and behold, I'm finding all this information. Why are you finding information? It's just like the brain, right? The way the human brain works. When you buy a new car, oh, wow, I just bought this new, Range Rover. Okay. Now, all of a sudden, you buy a money green Range Rover. All of a sudden on the road, you're seeing nothing but money green Range Rovers everywhere you go. Why, family? You're seeing these Range Rovers because now your brain, I forgot the name of the chemical, whatever, but it is a chemical in your brain. It's a neural pathway that actually exists. Please don't quote me on this, the name of it, but it starts with an S. But basically, that's the way our brains are wired. You now are looking for that Range Rover. Wherever you go, your brain's constantly looking for it. That's why you're noticing it, okay? And it's just the way we're wired. I didn't make this up. It is science, okay? And now what you'll find is that it's the same thing with anything you apply. You seek, you shall find it. Once you plant the seed in your mind, I want growth. I want to learn about this. You will find the avenues, and God is working His way through you to find these things. But you have to do the work and go and move forward and challenge yourself and research and learn more. How can this help me? What can this do for me? He who seeks shall find. You got to do that. Or else you just stay where you're at. That's the only option. It's either I'm going to stay where I'm at and live in this existence, which I know ain't that great. Because if it's that great, why am I even contemplating changing? You're contemplating changing because it's not that great. So now you start looking and you start finding these solutions, these answers. And now you're on your path to grow. Now you're on your path for your passion. You're not doing jobs and careers that you really can't stand and making you miserable. Okay? And these people, something happen to you, God forbid, they wouldn't care about you. They replace you in a New York minute. Okay? If you're going to do something, you might as well do something with your time, your energy, your life force that is responsive to you, that connects to you, that resonates with you, with purpose. And that's why it's so important to pay attention to your present, whether you're really happy or not. And I know we have obligations and we have bills and we have all of this. But guess what? Those going to be there whether you here or not. When you long gone, it's still going to be electric bills. It's still going to be mortgage, rent, It's still going to be, honeydews. Somebody going to do it. Whether you or somebody else, don't think that you ain't going to get replaced. Look, this thing been going on a long time. It's nothing new under the sun, family. The book says it. This thing been going on a long time. It'll keep going on long after you're gone. Okay, so it's up for you to maximize your time here and do the things that fulfill you and create the kind of life that's going to allow you to be your best self. And that's only going to happen when you do the work and you seek growth. You seek expansion. You pray for expansion. Who is it in the Bible? Is it Jozab? I want to say, I might be mispronouncing it. It's either Joab or Jozab. Here's the prayer for expansion. Pray for expansion. And he's not mentioned in the Bible very much, family, but that's the one thing he prayed to God for, expansion. And you can do that. You can pray to expand yourself. You don't have to be limited. And it's at your pace. But it starts with faith, believing, and doing the work. And that's how you grow, family. There you go. All right, next time. Peace.